Hey guys, thanks for watching. I just want to talk this morning a little bit about relationship, um, connection, and if that's something you feel like you're missing, I have some practical solutions on how to establish deep and meaningful connection. The Word of God tells us to love your neighbor. Jesus was all about relationship, and I feel like we live in a time where everybody's got 1,000 friends on Facebook, but at the end of the day, I think some of us are still feeling lonely. And I want to talk about why that is and how to solve it. So, first, the idea of social media, when we're putting our best foot forward and we're polishing our armor, so to speak, um, is kind of this concept culturally where we want to show off. And I think that that's really normal that we want people to be proud of us. We want to be accepted. And you know what I want to say about that is that I feel like people don't relate with your triumphs. uh, Everybody's going through something, and people relate with our failures. People relate with our struggles. And this might sound counterintuitive here, but when we're feeling a disconnect with other people or missing authenticity in our relationships, I think it's because of a lack of vulnerability. And so, I know that for me, I have most of my life had a deep desire to have deep and meaningful relationships, and I tried to achieve those by polishing up my armor, putting my best foot forward, showing all of the, achievements that I had in my life, and trying to establish relationship through those was never really successful. I was always left feeling kind of empty and lacking, and like people are a little standoffish. And I was like, well, I don't know why. I mean, I'm doing all these things. Isn't it cool? And the reality was is that most people are struggling with something. And as I have been on my most recent journey, in my journey of just ministry, and as since God has put this calling on my life, um, vulnerability has been the key to success here. I remember when God spoke to me, I was still incarcerated, and God had said, "Hey, uh, I've given you all of these labels and this and that and the other, and you're the least likely person to go out and do this, and now I'm going to use you. And I want you to go out, I want you to be transparent, I want you to be vulnerable with people." And what I found is that once I was willing to trust in God, to be vulnerable with people, as I share things with individuals or with small groups, the walls come down really fast. And I've learned that other people are struggling too. And so it's through that willingness, and it's scary. I know it's scary, but I encourage you, pray, God, give me the strength, give me the courage to just trust you, and help me to be vulnerable with others. And once I was willing to be vulnerable with other people, I was really able to forge some deep and meaningful connections. And I'm so fortunate and so blessed. I have an army of people around me today, that I could call on speed dial anytime, day or night. Would do anything for me. I know when I ask for prayer, they'll pray for me. But those connections and that deep and meaningful, authentic relationship only came through vulnerability and through sharing the things I didn't want people to know about me, or sharing things I didn't want to share. I'm expressing emotions in front of people that I didn't want to express. And so it was uncomfortable at first. And over time, it's gotten easier. But I really would just want to encourage you that if relationship is something you're struggling with, connection is something you're struggling with, I would encourage you to reach out and be vulnerable. And we live in a time where society encourages us, don't share your problems because 90% of people don't care and 10% of people who do are glad that you have them. And that may be true to some extent, but those are the wrong people. And there are good people out there who will be your friends, who will have connection and have relationship with you. And you don't know what they're going through. And maybe it's you that needs to break down that barrier and be vulnerable first. And then you can forge that relationship. And I'm not encouraging trauma bonds, but I am encouraging godly, love thy neighbor type of relationships. And so I hope that that's helpful. I pray for you guys. I hope that God uses this to help you. Have a blessed day.